Hey everyone, I wanted to talk about objection handling today very quickly after watching the news last night. Donald Trump, now I'm not going to get into politics here, I really don't want to go anywhere near that on social media, but he gave a State of the Union address and sat behind him was Nancy Pelosi, who's the Speaker of the House. Now, this is the lady that led the impeachment against Donald Trump. So you've got these Democrats versus Republicans, like in a lot of countries at the moment, there's great polarization. And it made me think about sales objections. So Donald Trump gave his big rousing speech, which has immediately been fact-checked and whatever else. And at the end of the speech, Nancy Pelosi, who's against Donald Trump, she's Democrat, he's Republican, she's made her feelings very clear, on camera, ripped up a copy of his speech. Now, the Republicans jeered at this, the Democrats have cheered at this, but to me, this is where salespeople go wrong with objections. So, okay, Nancy Pelosi disagrees with a lot of what he does and says, as I know a lot of the world does as well. But how did she go about disagreeing with that? Well, this is where salespeople go wrong as well. Has she got more respect? Is she going to enter a bigger dialogue? Is she going to push her needs and thoughts forward by becoming aggressive, by reacting, by ripping that speech up behind Donald Trump? She's losing the argument. This is exactly the same. This is the equivalent of when somebody says to you, we're not interested, and the salesperson reacts, they react emotionally, and they come back with something like, well, what you're not interested in, I've not even explained it to you yet. You're not going to move things forward. You're emotionally reacting to that situation. You're making an emotional stand. You're showing aggression. All this really does is make the person who you're reacting against embed in their position. Do you think right now Donald Trump sat in the Oval Office going, oh no, Nancy Pelosi ripped up my speech, I'll change my mind, I'll change what I think, I'll change my policies? Not at all. His reaction is going to be to dig even further into his position. He's going to entrench in what he believes, what he thinks and what he says, because this is happening. There is no empathy, there's no grace, there's no class in that, is there? So this is how salespeople react a lot. They get hit with an objection and they react emotionally, they react angrily. And all that does is entrench their prospect in the position. So when somebody says, our budget's gone for that, and people immediately react, they get triggered and they say, oh, well, just find more budget. Well, what sort of budget anyway? Most people haven't got a budget for this, and they react emotionally. All that prospect is going to immediately think is no class. They've reacted, they've triggered, they're reacting emotionally. I'm not going to do business with these people. And yeah, my budget has gone. Or no, I'm not interested. They're going to entrench in their position. When arrested years ago, Al Capone, the famous gangster, terrible man, when he was arrested and charged, he vehemently denied he'd done anything wrong. And the more the law went for him, the more he entrenched himself in the position, claiming that he was just bringing fun and partying to the people of Chicago. He was relieving their depression. He was a great man. He was a man of the people. And the more they really went for him with all the things he'd done wrong, the more he genuinely believed his own position. So Nancy Pelosi ripping up that speech, all you've done is entrench Republicans and entrench Donald Trump in his own position. Salespeople, when you hear something that you don't want to hear, don't trigger, don't react. By coming back with an aggressive or a funny or a cocky statement, you don't make people change their mind. You entrench them in that position even more. No, sorry, I'm not allowed to put you through, says the gatekeeper. And I've genuinely heard the reply, I don't think you're paid enough to make that decision. What? You're never going to get past them. So today, what do we need to do? You need to go with them. You need to show empathy. If Pelosi had actually gently put down the speech, stood up and gracefully clapped and been civil around this, there may be a chance that she could enter dialogue. There may be a chance you can gradually change things. But the second you react, the second you get triggered, you just get that collision between two people. The sale is over. The dialogue is over. So Don't react, no matter what pressure you're under, whatever stress you're under, go with their objection. My budget's gone for that. Brilliant. Most people I speak to at the moment say they haven't set aside a budget for that, or it's this time of year the budget's already expended for. Tell me, what sort of stuff does that budget go on? Go with them, show empathy, and then start a dialogue. You're going to move further forward into your sale. So don't react, don't get triggered. It can be difficult sometimes, but don't do a Nancy. She's not done the cause any good here. And Trump, he's just going to dig in and believe his own bullshit even more. Promised I wouldn't get political, sorry. So if you want to know more about objection handling, we've got so much coming up soon. We've got the Sales Dojo on the 14th of February. We're going to have well over 100 businesses there. We've got 3 amazing guest speakers. We've got the Sales Masterclass coming soon. This is a 10-week sales training program that can help you with prospecting, networking, closing, negotiating your social media and everything. And in May, we are going to, next week, we're officially launching Cold Call Like a Boss London. This is going to be on the 21st of May. This is the first place we've explained it. If you're in the centre of London and you want to smash the phone, make more meetings, smash that commission so you can afford a pint in the centre of London, we'll send you out more information about that. Until then, keep hitting the phones, keep smashing the targets, keep buying those shoes. Cheers.